Yo, yo, what is going on? Good evening, Merry Christmas, and welcome to Open Mic Live. It is December 22nd, 2024, and I have some good friends with me. I have Samantha Hawkins and Juliet Brown. What is going on?
What's up, brother?
The fuck was that? you didn't know? Nobody knew who was going to go first. It was just, hey.
It's only uphill from here, right, Ricardo?
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Yes, maybe.
That was hilarious. That
We didn't discuss this beforehand. Who would
This
go
is true.
first? Okay,
This is true. Yeah,
it's the little things.
you are correct. Yes.
Yes,
So,
thank you. Mhm.
I am happy to be here with the both of you. This live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, a leader in next-gen core services. Shout out to subscribers as always, and as we always do with Open Mic Live, for everyone watching and listening, and the both of you as well. How are you all feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome? What is your number? And roll call for everybody that's watching and listening. Where are you watching from? Where are you at? And if you are out of New Jersey or anywhere out of there, the fuck is going on with them drones? Like, this is some crazy stuff going on, man. Like,
That's true. That's true. We were talking about that at work. I was like, man.
I just figured it was extra elves just going all over the place, or like, we're just getting prepared. I don't know. We're just getting stuff ready.
Yeah,
but,
we'll say that.
Yeah. Juliet, let's start with you. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome. What's your number? How are you feeling? Where are you at?
I would say I'm at about an 8. I just spent an hour with you guys already, laughing, having a great time,
Yes.
and really just excited to kind of continue that for Open Mic Live.
All right, excellent. That is an excellent number. We see Bethany jumping in here, and welcome. You as well. Scale of 1 to 10. What is your number? And then moving over to Samantha. What is your number?
So first of all, shout out to Bethany. Beth, by the way, we're wearing our Feeling Feral shirts. We love those shirts, girl. So just want you to know who's wearing it. I mean, I'm feeling really, really good. And it's been a good night. It's been a good day. There's also a monster involved. So, probably a 12.5. Probably a 12.5
Oh, damn.
right now, So
damn. All right. Well, the both of you are showing, so I got to show as well. I got me a nice Kill Cliff, a little bit of CBD here. No caffeine in it, but it's got some keeping me relaxed and cool with my super long hat here.
Your hat scarf.
I know. Yeah, my hat scarf. Yeah, and then if I want to get a a little sassy, I can bring it back and just. Yeah, I can do just throw a hair flip back, and I'm old, so that just hurt my neck. But yeah. So as they were mentioning already, right before we got on here, we were recording. Actually, a session is the last session for Dare to Be Great 6. Which was a lot of fun, and I want to talk about this right now as well. Wait, Bethany says, I am dying right now in the middle of this airport. Yes! Excellent. There's probably people sitting around going, what the hell? Why is it? What's wrong with this person? What are they watching? So, for the both of you, tell me about this. This was a session that the both of you were doing together. And actually, up until the point that the session was going to happen, I didn't realize the both of you were doing this session. I didn't realize that it was the two of you. And I thought, well, this is gonna make this that much more awesome. So tell me about this. It's called Gromance, but there's like a little tagline to it as well, is there not?
Just like building good future forward friendships or something along those lines. I forget exactly how I worded it, to be honest. But a gromance is basically a friendship where two people love and support each other and just really want what's best for each other and try to consistently give the other person space to level up and encourage them to keep growing while you're also growing as well.
Awesome.
That's
I
right.
love that. It was really cool to be on the back end, just like kind of watching as everything was going on. I was I was wondering how it was going to go right off the bat, because for those who are watching and listening, literally right before I hit go live for us to record that session, the three of us were busting a gut. Like, we were just laughing, literally laughing our asses off. And
Correct.
I didn't I don't remember which one of you it was who said it, but one of you ended up saying, "We got to get this together so that we can do this session."
You go through this. Yeah, I was like, we cannot.
I have to say, I was very tempted, because there's a lot of information for everyone watching and listening, to unpack and to really reflect on, and go back and think about the folks that you've made connections with and how you've come across making those connections. And there were many points where or parts rather in the session where I wanted to type in the comments to respond to what you were saying, but I thought, no, don't do that, because I was afraid that it was going to make the both of you laugh and crack up, and I was going to break the both of you, and then we were going to have to pause for this session or something. So I was like, no, refrain, walk back. But also at the same time, it really made me think again about a lot of folks that I've come in contact with. So for example, listening to both of you, I was thinking about my very first national conference, and it was in 2013, National Nina. Everything started there for the national spot for myself and everything that I was doing with the podcast and such. And I remember there were tons of people that I met then. One of them I will mention right now is my good friend Rob Big Mac McMullen. And I remember I was standing there, and I had T-shirts out for stuff that I was going to be giving away. And again, this is my first time, and they had a podcast zone, is what they called it. And I'm just standing there, and I remember he walked by and he looked at the shirt and he looked up, and I said, "I'm giving those away, man." He goes, "You and I will be talking soon." And I said, "All right." And it was like 6 months later, maybe, and from that time we've been good buddies ever since, and have had these different connections going on. And it was one of the coolest things. Like, he and I will still talk about it, still say, "Remember when you said that to me?" I was like, "I thought you were being a dick at first, but no, here we are. We're cool."
That's awesome, man. That's a grown man's right there.
Oh yeah, it was really cool to hear the both of you go through that session, and really just kind of see how you were connected even before you knew each other. So here's another thing for everybody watching and listening. I mentioned this to both Sam and Juliet before we got started with this. They were talking about how they started seeing each other on social media and such, and it was Dare to Be Great 4, where I started, and I was telling them in a big email thread, and maybe even individually at the time as well, but I was saying, I'm teasing number 4. I'm teasing it. I'm starting it by putting pictures out there of people.
Yep.
And even this wrestling group that I saw back in the day growing up, they were always going like this. They were called the Four Horsemen. And I said, I want you to record like just like a selfie video, or someone taking a video of you or whatever, just throwing up that 4. Well, here's the thing. I didn't realize that they didn't even know each other during that time.
No, man. That's what's really so awesome. And yeah, we were just all talking about it, like the full circle of it. Like, Dare to Be Great 4, I was like the keynote for that. And all I know is, like, she's tagged in all these videos. I'm tagged in all these videos. And one of the things in the session, when y'all watch it, like, just know that sliding into people's DMs is not just a thing for relationships. All right, let it be known. I slid into Juliet's DMs. Okay, that's sometimes how the best romances, the best friendships are born. And it was just like, who's this chick that I keep seeing all over the place? And she's tagged in this and all of Ricardo's like reels and everything. And so yeah, like, for real, full circle. And then here we are, Dare to Be Great 6. So dude, like, at the center of it, Dare to Be Great. Wow, and from back then of Dare to Be Great 4, keynote of that, to this Dare to Be Great 6, Juliet is one of the the keynotes for that one, and it's like awesome. It's like awesome full circle.
Definitely full circle moment.
It definitely is. I feel like when Sam and I first met and when we first became connected, it was almost like that scene in Step Brothers where they're like, did we just become best friends? Like, we just immediately glued to the hip from like the moment we met.
True.
So give us a little more of a preview of this session for those who are watching and listening, and what they can look forward to. Also, before you say that, I did just see your cat come down the stairs while you were talking, and like I'm gonna have to clip that, because your cat comes down and just happens to look over like into the camera and then goes down again.
She did that.
That was pretty hilarious, actually. I was trying not to laugh while the both of you were talking, but okay, preview time of your session. What more can they find in the session that's going to be? I'm going to be adding it tomorrow in the morning, because I have to bring it down off of the session piece, and then I have to replace it from the little message that I had on there. But a little preview, please.
Yeah, it's and Juliet, you're gonna add more. Only thing I'll say is like it just talks about how it's like friendship, but like next level. Friendship, surface stuff, but what is that next level of not just being friends and you just being in each other's orbit and you just kind of like are friendly to each other, and maybe you go out, maybe you hang out, whatever. But even for someone like us who are long distance, it's about the fact that our growth, how we've grown along the friendship, grown individually, grown together, and supported each other through the growth. That's like the next level, in our minds of friendship.
I have a slide that in there that says it's like a bromance but cooler, because it is kind of like that like loving bromance vibes that people give when two adult men like each other and are good friends. Are like, oh yeah, that's a bromance. It's like that, but very forward thinking in what we can do to progress both individually and together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I dig that. Yeah, you when you said that, I'm glad that my microphone was on mute, because I literally laughed out loud. I was just like, like that was, I don't know why it struck me funny. You're like, it's like a bromance, just cooler. And I started laughing, and I kind of freaked out a little bit. I had to look on my my interface, my audio interface, and my microphones to make sure they were actually muted, and then I could laugh further. But because that would have been weird for it to come out and the both of you just kind of,
we would have both like paused, like
I know. Looking into your cameras. I'm like, oh no,
Ricardo, is that
you? Keep going.
Ricardo, keep it down.
Oh man. Well, I'm really happy. I'm glad that we were able to do this. We the day of, you had sent me a message and you're like, I'm not feeling great. And so I I ended up going live. And the thing is, though, Juliet's a trooper, because immediately, even though she wasn't feeling great, and didn't even know to the extent of how great she was not feeling, although some of the caps that Sam sent in our text group kind of told me that you are not feeling well, and in all caps. And so when I went live, I'm just like, all right, hello, everyone. We're not going to be doing this session today. Juliet's not feeling that great, but we will get it recorded as fast as possible. And again, that's what I mean. Like, Juliet was already planning, like, I can do it this weekend. I'm like, nah, dude, we can do it when you feel better. Yeah. And even after saying that, she's like, well, I really think I can do it. Like, it'll be all right. I'm like, no, it'll be all right if we wait. And you're feeling a little bit better, because when I had and this isn't the same thing, but I just mean in the sense of taking, meds when you're taking antibiotics
Mhm.
or whatever, sometimes those can leave you feeling like crap, feeling like hell. Like I had to take some antibiotics for diverticulitis, and I felt like I wasn't even me. Like I felt like I had a brain fog from one of the antibiotics that I had, and I was glad that I wasn't teaching that week. It was not fun. Well, actually, that was the week, Juliet, that you were at the ranch,
Yep,
that
the
you
week
were
you did
teaching
me.
there. Yeah, I had held off until literally that morning when I was going to fly out,
Mhm.
and I had to send Joe and Amy a message and be like, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it." So, I commend you for wanting to jump in right away, but I'm glad that we waited, especially because when we were starting to when I was going to bring you into the green room for the session, you were like, "I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so happy." The both of you were ready to do this and stuff. And
Mhm.
I'm just glad that we were able to wait, and also that you are feeling better, dude. Like for
Yes.
real. Yeah. That session is a lot of fun. I cannot wait for all of you to check it out. Again, I'm going to have it put up um tomorrow morning so that everybody can see it, and I'll make sure to put out a notification as well. That virtual event, Dare to Be Great, that last one, it had over 1,000 attendees from
Man.
people from all over the world. Of course, the US. We also had Canada. Um, we had folks out of the UK, Iceland, Spain was added on there as well as Germany, Russia, Lithuania, Qatar, and they say Australia. Australia was in there. There were a bunch of them. It was literally all over the world. Iceland as well. That was one of the
Oh.
coolest things was that the first day, Monday morning, we started up and everyone is saying, hello, where they're at. And I'm the person out of Iceland that was there. I'm not going to even attempt to say your name because I will butcher it. But the person ends up saying, "Good afternoon" from Iceland. I was like, that's awesome. I was like, that is really cool. Joe jumping in here, Joe McHugh. Hello, hello. Angie jumping in here as well. Roxy, what's going on? Jumping in too. Yeah, we got a bunch of people jumping in here, and yeah, so that
Ricardo,
was a lot of
br-
fun.
bro, I want to know, how did you keep it together through it all? Because I know I cry easily. How did you, and you emotional too, man? How did you keep it together, like through it all, like knowing you the last one, you went out with a bang, man? But really, how'd you hold it together through
Well,
it all, man?
look Chris in there. All right, again, DTBG7.
Yeah.
uh, so
Mhm,
I
mhm.
okay, so a couple things.
Right.
I when going into Monday, like I was up late Sunday. I was still putting some stuff together, and I got everything set up. What I ended up doing was I scheduled all the posts the night before. I scheduled every single one of those posts so that I wouldn't have to worry about it. It would just go out
Wow.
on its own. The only ones that I was updating in real time were the ones through the community on Circle.
Okay.
And so I was doing all of those. But that Monday morning, got some coffee, got something quick to munch on, and I thought, all right, here we go. And we just went through, and I was just going and going and going. And then before I knew it, it was already going to be the last session of the event. We went through that session, which was what Roxy says hashtag DTBG 10 spot. Well, we did that session. That session was a heavy, deep
Yeah.
session, but one that was needed. It was really good. I did kind of a quick goodbye for that
Mm.
one, but then did the live and then pretty much gave the history and went through all of that. And that took a lot, but I'm going to tell you something that I haven't told anybody yet. And
Okay.
everybody who's watching and listening, you're going to hear this now. Um, two things. When I went off air, I turned off the lights these big lights that are here. I mean, of course, it's the afternoon, so it was still daylight. But these lights specifically, I turned them off, and I just sat with my head down, and I felt good. It felt really good. I did get emotional. There were some tears, and I felt like Clark Griswold on Christmas Vacation at the end when he's looking up at the sky and he just goes, "I did it." And that's what I did. I sat here and I looked forward and I just said, "I did it." And it felt good. But I sat here and I had to chill for a moment and just kind of like, holy shit. Like that was the whole week. It was we finally got through all of it. And it was amazing. I hadn't shared that yet. I was waiting to, but that's what I did. I just sat here by myself and I took it all in. All right.
That's really cool. And like one thing that is also really cool to think about is I'm sure there's so many other stories about Dare to Be Great that you don't even know about yet. Like you didn't know that Sam and I didn't know each other until Dare to Be Great 4 because of Dare to Be Great 4. And like, in a sense, it's almost like you connected us to build this great friendship. And I'm sure we're not the only people that you've connected through Dare to Be Great or through your podcast. And that's something really cool and really wholesome to like think about.
Yeah.
Man. True. Yeah. And how many people, their first time speaking, myself included, was on this platform, man. You think about it, like where else there's not, how many international platforms where someone can say I presented for the first time because somebody bet on me, somebody took a chance on me to say, hey, I get it. You've never spoken publicly before, but I think you've got a really great story here and a great message, and gave them that opportunity. So, dude, this platform, international, it's even to this one for Dare to Be Great 6, someone I know, a friend of mine who was her first time speaking, and this was the platform because you're like, hey, I think you've got a great story. Doesn't matter that you've never spoken before in person or virtually, but I'm going to bring you on and let you have that platform. It'll never be anything like that, man.
And she crushed it too.
Yeah, she did. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yes, Amy out of Bunkum 911 crushed it, man. And that kind of inspiration from where she goes from there, even my friend Will Young, from where he goes from here, guess what? This is not the last time they will speak. They will speak at other places. But where they started at, it will never change. It will always be remembered. It's forever engraved in the chapters of their life. Their platform started here, man. Dare to Be Great, man.
Fuck.
You've done some pretty cool shit there, Ricardo.
Oh man. Well, and and it continues with a lot of people saying, "Keep it going, don't stop."
Come on now, right? We all saying it.
like I keep telling people, just like in pro wrestling, never say never. I sent an email out earlier today with the certificates for everyone who attended, and I'm pretty sure at the end of it I said, where we go from here, never say never. So you never know, man, because I love doing it. I really do love doing it. It just I felt like there wasn't a huge demand for it until we were leading up to it, and then from the first day going on even till today, and people were like, no, I'm bummed. And I'm sitting there just thinking like, oh fuck, what do I do now?
Always a demand, dude. We were just trying not to peer pressure you because we were like, it's the last one. So we were trying to be respectful, some of us, right? Trying to be respectful. But dude, it was always in the back of our minds like, no, but for real, is this the last one? Please don't let it be the last one. Come on, man.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
never know.
We
But
all do.
yeah, Amy, she she did amazing. And when we were in the green room, like with a lot of people, when I was in the green room with them, especially folks who hadn't spoken yet, um, I can feel, like, you can feel the vibes even through the camera virtually. And I'm sitting there like, you're gonna be all right. Don't worry, I've got you. If anything happens, just call on me, and like the Jackson 5, I'll be there. I'll be there. And so it's always fun in the green room, because especially when we've got tech shit going on, and I'm like, don't worry, we'll figure it out. If there's any way to do it, I will figure it out for you so that we make sure that your session is going.
Dude, you
Whereas
figured out mine, man.
yeah,
I was like, okay, how do I? Because every time it feels like the first time. I don't know why. It doesn't matter how many times I present virtually, and I'm like, okay, how do I share my PowerPoint again? Yeah, you always take care of us in the green room, right? So
there's always something that happens, especially when you're doing it live. If there's a tech issue or whatever, so for example, um, there was something going on with trying to add people to bring people in, because I can't do it all at once. So like with Juliet, there was something that was messed up with the platform on the back end of adding her as a team member. And but support was like on the money, man. They were helping like in real time while things were going on. I'm like, I've got an hour. You need to figure this out, because I can't do this all on my own right now for two people at the same time. I can figure it out if need be, but I need a little help. And so they showed me what I needed to do, so it worked out. But there was one that I had to do two at the same time, and I posted a picture of me with these headphones on, but with this over here and another set of headphones in, because I have the main setup and then I had my laptop right down here. And luckily it was staggered enough that they didn't finish at the same time. But I was praying, man. I was like, please do not stop at the same time.
That was actually when I was presenting somebody for you as well. So I couldn't even hop on and help.
Right,
because
yes.
I was doing my own.
That it's stuff like that makes it that much more fun. Seriously, it makes it that much more fun, even though it's stressful. I think that if you're gonna have people in these spots, they got to come from dispatch, man, because we're able to stay calm, we're able to think on our feet, and we're just able to do it. Like, I've had other people go, how are you being so calm right now? I'm like, well, we got to get through this.
This is small fry, man. This is small fry, because this is what we do.
That's
And
right.
Come on.
Yeah,
what we do, we know, staying calm.
And the fact that I had just been testing, just over the years, testing and testing and testing almost every scenario that I could think of, we're able to get through it and stuff. And so that was a lot of fun, because one of the last resorts is either pulling someone into Zoom because they're at work and their internet is locked down, so it won't let them go into like Crowdcast and stuff. But Zoom, just like Skype years back, was, everyone was on that, so they had to allow that. So Zoom is the same thing. So you use Zoom and you import them in, and it works like that. Or I see Hank up in here. What's up, Hank? What's going on? He says, I'm his tech producer. That's right. And I'm your tech producer as well when we're at the same place. But like with Hank, he was having issues with his internet one time, and video, nothing was working. So I ended up quickly going into Photoshop, getting a bunch of pictures that he had sent of like him and Carrie and all. And I just put them together as a collage, had him call in on my phone, and I just piped the audio through so that everyone could hear it.
Man, and talk about improvising on the fly.
On the fly, dude. Yes. And when we finally got through, I'm just sitting here like, okay, it's a little hot in here.
Only a dispatcher could do that.
Dude, for real.
No,
That's what makes it fun. Connor, woo, what's going on over there at South Metro? Hank says seamlessly. Dude, we got it worked out. But it was definitely a lot of fun, and just everyone's sessions, just all of it was just a great highlight. And yes, seeing people speak for the first time and just rock it. Like, I think just about, I mean, everyone who said, this is my first time speaking, I'm sitting here looking around like if there's a camera over here going, but I'm by myself like a dumbass going, like it's The Office. It's that
I know, like
that just that look. That's I know. I'm like, hell no. Like, there's no way. There's what?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And yeah, like Amy, when she was doing hers, like when we were in the green room and stuff, she goes, I'm standing out here, outside right now. I was like, that looks awesome. And she's like showing me the mountains and stuff. I said, you're going to do it outside? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, I'm excited. She goes, like, I'm kind of nervous. I said, don't worry about it. It's going to be good. Everyone is here to listen to you. Do not worry. And she's like, okay, all right, here we go. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to disappear, but I'm still here. She's like, all right. And then I'm just sitting here watching and I'm like, damn, like, well done. And we're working on something for her to be on the podcast as well. So I'm excited to have her on for that too.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
That'll be a good podcast.
Yeah. It was excellent. Connor over here says, just wheeling and dealing, keeping busy. Yes. So Connor is also alumni of the ranch. Connor is out of South Metro 911 out of Colorado. And their mascot over there is the Yeti, Sasquatch. Dude, I have one of I've got some swag. It's pretty badass, man.
I actually, Sam, we saw a South Metro fire truck in North Carolina.
You sure did. They did send folks down. Yeah, after Hurricane Helene.
Yeah,
to help out. Shout out to
when
them.
we were lost in that hotel parking lot, and I was trying to turn around. There's all the fire trucks, and one of them was South Metro, Colorado.
So true.
You got lost?
Yeah.
Sam right away is like, we're not talking about that.
We don't got time for that story, bro.
We were trying to find food that was open, which was very hard to find food that was open that like wasn't a 8-mile long drive-through line. And we went to go turn around in a parking lot of a hotel next to, I think it was like a Wendy's, and I was like, oh, I'll just go around the building. But they blocked off half of the entrance because they had all the fire trucks lined up and you couldn't see. So you couldn't make it all the way around the building. And then we had to do like an 18-point turn. I'm the world's okayest driver.
The world's okayest driver. I need to put that on a t-shirt.
Look, Colorado fire trucks.
Dude, I can't even imagine what that was like when the both of you were out there, not just, trying to find food or whatever, but trying to find a road that was probably like not blocked off. Like, I don't even know.
Those first pictures I posted on October 1st, Ricardo, Bethany, who said hi at the very beginning, who we showed our Feeling Feral shirt.
Yeah.
She was driving the car that I took all those pictures in.
Oh, no shit. Oh,
yeah.
All right. Dots are connecting now. Yes.
Yeah, which is why she has a Feeling Feral shirt too. Me, her, and Sam are all matchy match.
That's pretty cool. I dig that.
But it was chaos. That first week and a half, 2 weeks there was just utter chaos.
Yeah.
When I heard that Bethany says, but did you die?
Classic Bethany response. Classic.
Oh, that is amazing. Jody, what's up, Jody?
Hey, Jody.
Hello. Bethany says, my ferals.
Yes.
Truth. True.
Oh, that's the best.
I got Bethany a cape that says cute but feral, and it has a raccoon on it.
Oh, is that where that is that where that comes from? Your shirts and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
Yeah.
The Feral Crew, the crew of Feral. I
She
like it.
calls herself the feral dispatcher, and it kind of just like became a 3 of us thing.
I dig it. Are you guys gonna like put together like a 5K group and everything else? And
No, I don't do 5Ks.
oh,
Not mine.
No, it's gonna
Not
be a
mine.
half marathon, right, Sam?
Not even that.
Sam, you didn't tell me that you were training for a half marathon.
I didn't because I'm not.
I'm going to get her to do one with me at some point.
Oh my
Bethany
God.
says, "Oh, I wish I could show it," and then it says, I wore that like a boss." And Bethany says, "Big fat no." Okay, no 5K for you either.
All right, I'll run the 5K, guys. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it'll be all right. Yeah. So I do want to ask the both of you a question here before we move on to the next piece. What were some of the highlights for you during Dare to Be Great? The last one, Dare to Be Great 6.
So, I would say, man, kind of touching on again, every time when we, every Dare to Be Great, there's always like the folks that I know, my faves, the people I love watching, but then new voices. So we mentioned like Amy, Will Young. Now I was familiar with Will just because he is on the ACO's editorial committee that I chair. And so like I knew him, like I know he's like a valuable member of the committee. But again, somebody who first time presenting, and his session on being neurodivergent and 911 and like how to support the neurodivergent from his perspective of being it was I'd never heard it. I knew he was like working on it because like he had been gathering information, but man, it just hit home because we're having some conversations about it like in our industry, but we don't have enough. And so for someone like him, like to me, vulnerability is always like, and especially as a first time speaker, he came out, it was a vulnerable thing to kind of talk about and to share that side. And it just hit home. Like the whole time I'm just like, dude, you had this in you all along. Like, man, like, I'm like, dude, you've got to submit this to other conferences because it's just, to me, the highlights of any conference is when someone dares, no pun intended, to speak on something that is their truth and to be vulnerable enough. They may not know if it's going to resonate with someone or if it's going to connect with someone, but they imagine there's going to be at least one person in that crowd it will connect with. He doesn't know how many people it connected with. We saw in the comments, but he dared to speak on something that he didn't feel like there was a lot of conversations with and use that platform. The platform gave him to Dare to Be Great to talk about it. And it just, to me, that's what makes these conferences so great. You're always going to have your favorites and your people that you know, but when you see a new voice come out and be like, I'm going to shine a spotlight on something that is important to me and it's probably important to someone else, but they don't know who to go to or how to find out more about it. That's what resonated with me, It's my highlight.
I love that.
I have 2 things. I really just love seeing like Sam said, all the courage though, also like the courage to just go out there, be yourself, put yourself on the line. Some people say that virtual is easier because you're not like looking at the people, but it also can be harder because it's on the internet forever. And I know for me, when I went to go speak for the first time on Dare to Be Great 4, that was my biggest like, oh my God, this is going to be on the internet forever. Like if I mess this up, it's going to be there forever. And just so everybody, acknowledging and having the courage to go out there and to do it. If you're one of those people that it was your first time speaking and it was virtual, just make sure that you don't let anybody put down the fact that it was virtual so you didn't have people in front of you, because it's still hard. It's just a completely different kind of hard that people who haven't spoken virtually would not understand fully.
That's true.
So I just love seeing everybody's courage. But then also I feel like, not to be corny, but this conference really kind of reinforced Sam and I's gromance for me, in that even like, I don't know why I didn't do this sooner, but leading up to the conference, I knew the overall topic of what I wanted to speak on. You know, I knew all along, like, I want to talk about daring to be yourself and how important that is and what that means and all of that. But if you saw the presentation, it was also very vulnerable. And I didn't know where to bring that. And it was like 72 hours before I presented. And I'm on the phone with Samantha and I'm like, Sam, I don't have anything. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I can't put it into words. I don't know where to start. And we chatted for 45 minutes. I came up with a good first sentence. Sam helped me with the first sentence. And it was late. So I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. And she's like, all right, get some sleep. Think on it. Like, you got this. And I'm like, okay, cool. I woke up randomly at like 3 or 4 in the morning and pulled my phone out and wrote that entire 30-minute speech, like right there. No stop, just like full blown wrote it right before, and just kind of got it all out there. And I guess the moral of the story for that for me is that I should have really just reached out to my best friend sooner and it would have been done a lot quicker.
That'll learn you.
Yeah. No, but really just that in life, we often feel alone, but there's so many people that we can reach out to at any point in time to help us, and we just have to ask.
There you go. I love that. Yes. And I remember you and I were texting a little bit and you told me that. And I said, what? I said, for real? I said, you know, I don't remember how I worded it to you, but I said, those are some of those satisfying moments where you just like, aha, and you just start going and you do it because it really gets into you no matter what time it is for you. You just like woke up out of nowhere and you started doing it. And a lot of times those are those best moments. And I agree. Speaking virtually, for those who are watching and listening who have not spoken virtually, yeah, it is a lot harder because when you're doing it in person, you have an audience in there. But yeah, you know, and you can play off of people, right? And you've got that energy as well. When you're doing it virtually, yeah, there's people in the comments, but you're speaking to the camera right here, and you have to pretend that camera is an entire audience. And the way I've thought about this from the beginning, doing stuff virtually, there was an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast that I was listening to years ago, and he's mentioned this story many times, but when I very first heard it was a few years ago, and he was talking about this birthday party for the CEO of the UFC. There was only like 40 people there, 30 or 40 people. He goes, there wasn't that many, but someone had hired Stone Temple Pilots. And that was when like Scott Weiland was still with them and everything. If that tells you how long ago that was, because he ended up passing away. But they were on stage, and he said he killed it like it was an entire arena packed. And that has always stuck with me, that no matter the audience size, you present like it's a packed, full-on room. And that's the way I've always seen it. But also, when you compare doing it virtually and in person, if you're a person who gets into your head because of the amount of people that are there, and let's just say you have 6 or 7 people there, it's going to fuck with your brain because you're not prepared. and you're like, oh man, am I not doing good enough, or am I not good enough for people to be there? No, there's just a bunch of people that are there, and you present to however many people that are there, like the room is completely full. And when you're doing it virtually, you got to think that too. So there's a lot of mind games that happen. It's like if you mess up, I always tell people, if I mess up, excuse me, especially like during a keynote or something, I always call myself out first. There have been a couple times where I'm giving a speech and my voice cracks, and I will start laughing, and I'll say, "Oh man, I'm 13 years old again," and everyone starts laughing. And now I took the power away from the audience because they're laughing with me because of something that I said, not at me, and you can continue going. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on.
The other thing with virtual is like you make a joke and you laugh at it and you hope people are laughing with you, but you don't know because you can't see anybody.
Right.
So it's like, ha ha ha, I hope that was funny. All right, continue.
Yes. I will laugh at something like I have people around me, and then I just continue talking. I'm like, well, if people laugh, oh well. If not, oh well, just keep going. But yeah, I agree. It's definitely harder virtually because you don't have the people there. And sometimes when you're looking at the comments, you might actually like it might throw you off a little bit because you want to answer someone, and then you're like, wait a minute, okay, wait, where was I at? Okay, let's continue going.
Yeah, that's true. And if you're a speaker that naturally like feeds off the energy of the crowd, and you don't get that virtually. So I told like some of the first timers like afterwards, like, man, y'all rocked it. And I'm like, you know, if you thought this was hard, guess what? In person, it's actually going to be easier because you're going to have the engagement of your crowd. You're going to be looking at, you're going to have people nodding, whatever. You know how you focus on that person who like, you kind of zone in on the people who's looking at you. They're nodding, they're giving you that kind of nonverbal feedback. Whereas if you can rock it out, like we saw some of these first time speakers rocked it out in front of just a camera staring back, and you make a joke and like you don't know if they're laughing or whatever. You're just like, I hope it landed, you know. Dude,
right.
You can rock it out in person. You really
I think for me that was probably excuse me, everyone that spoke was a highlight, right? But for me, it was also those who were cutting their teeth for that very first time and doing what they do. And it was like, oh, that was awesome. Like they did well. But there were a couple times in the green room where it's like, there's 1,000 people here with you. You're fine. They're like, oh, what? They're like, oh, fuck. Wait. I'm like, no, just don't worry about it. I said, these people are here because they want to see you and they want to hear what you have to say. There's a reason that you were here, that you were chosen to do this session. It's like, don't worry about it. You got this. And everything was good. So yeah, that was my highlight, coming together with all the familiar faces, but also having the folks that were speaking for the first time. And that alone might sway me to continue.
Because there's a lot of voices out there still waiting to have that, to share their story, to have that platform. And yes, there's other platforms and stuff. But bro, like Dare to Be Great, like that's one of the things. How many folks have cut their teeth? I cut my teeth, my speaker chops on this platform. So, you can't look to these other platforms and just expect them to do it. You got to give it to us again. You got to give us that Dare to Be Great 7, because that is just one of those things that you've made possible. And every single person, those 1,000, over 1,000 people, every time y'all tune in and y'all listen and you share and be a part of Dare to Be Great, y'all made it possible too. And all the speakers made it possible. But this effort, like there's so many voices still with stories and messages to share. So man, you just can't let that go. Can't quit us yet.
It kind of, Sam's talking kind of made me think of Gary Hill's presentation about the ripple effects of kindness. It's kind of like the ripple effects of Dare to Be Great.
Oh man, right?
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
I think this was about a year ago. I'll just say this really quick before we move on to the next thing, and we're 50 minutes in.
Why do people put up with us?
I know. Yeah. I don't know what virtual event was going on, but I won't say. But I know you're in the audience, so you can send me a message later. But the person who said this, they're like, I was just attending a virtual event, and you spoiled us with Dare to Be Great because it was not what I thought it was going to be. It was like,
See?
thanks. I appreciate it. I wanted everyone to have a good experience, from the speakers to the sponsors, but especially the attendees, because sometimes there are virtual things that are going on where people are like, I don't know where to go. What are we supposed to do? And then and the speakers too are like, I don't know what's going on still for whatever it is that we're supposed to be doing. And man, that just I just wanted everyone to have a great experience. And that was my Dare to Be Great moment. And it's been awesome.
Dare to be greater and give us another one.
There you go. Who knows?
Be greater.
Maybe one time. Maybe we can figure out a way to do it in person. One time. This is the first time I've ever said that.
Come on.
Oh, all right. There we go. I already got committee people.
Yep.
One time. That would be really cool. I got to think about that. So going on, because I will say this really quick. An episode that I put out, episode 579, actually is that discussion that No Dispatcher Left Behind. And that is like blowing up all over the place. And shout out to Aaron and Cinnamon of After the Tones Drop podcast. They are amazing, both first responder clinicians. Check out what they're doing. They're doing some good stuff. And I've got some other things planned with them as well coming up. So, excuse me, make sure to... oh, wait, hold on a minute. Marco, what's going on? Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope everyone has a great week and a great Big 10 to start the new year. Oh, yeah. Then Amy over here, maybe that's a new open door to even bigger Dare to Be Great. Yes. Maybe. Just once, maybe. I don't know. You never know. Well, we'll see what happens. So I want to talk about, and we're going to go over a little bit. It's fine. Christmas memories. What are some Christmas memories from either one of you that just kind of stick out?
Samantha, you want to go first?
To me, I think it's just waking up that morning. Jackson, we'd wake up and my parents would have already Jackson 5's Christmas album playing, and like they'd start at like 6 a.m, you know.
Oh,
the smells, the immediate smells, because it's like, now mind you, and my mom's not watching this, so I can say this, so she doesn't know I say this about her. My mom would like start cooking at like 5 a.m. We weren't gonna eat until like 6 p.m. on the day. We still weren't gonna eat until like 6 p.m. dinner time. But the whole morning, just the whole day, all the smells, just the food. You knew like the turkey was automatically on at like 5 and stuff. And, it just, Thanksgiving, to be honest with you, is like it's my favorite holiday. But Christmas is just, take away the gifts, take away all of that. It's just, the whole family together. My dad coming in after like double shifts, being half awake, but like on gift wrapper collecting duty, just like with his black trash bag, like, give me the stuff. That's okay, unwrap it. Okay, the gift looks nice. Oh, that's okay, perfect. But and you know how, like, because mom would do, mom like really is the one that bought the gift. So she'd be like, this is a gift from your dad. And dad's like, what did I get you? Oh, yeah, that's cool. I have great taste. I knew you would love that T-shirt, and you just like, no, like, why do you look like as surprised as I am? I'm opening the gift, you know.
Right.
But those are the memories, and those are the things like you just kind of remember, because Christmas looks a lot different, you know, as an adult, you know, especially like, you know, you're an adult, family, everyone's doing their own thing. They got their own families and stuff. But, you know, growing up, like that's what I remember. At least like for those holidays, everybody together, family just doing their thing, you know.
I dig it.
And
I
Jackson
completely-
5.
Yeah, Jackson 5. Yes. Got the,
For me, it would have to be Christmas morning breakfast. And I just tried to creep really quick to see how many years it's been. It's definitely over 15 years of us doing this, probably closer to 20. And it's not necessarily like it is a lot of family, but for the most part, it's the families that I grew up with and in the neighborhood that I grew up with. So it's like my mom's friends and all of their kids. So now it's my mom's friends, all of their kids that I'm friends with, and now some of them have kids. And we're going on 20 years of this, and it starts at like mid-morning time. We all show up at the same house Christmas morning in our jammies, compare all of our Christmas jammies and everything, and really just enjoy breakfast together as like a close-knit community of people that grew up together. And I don't know, it's just one of my favorite things to exist, because it's not even like, it's not blood family. It's just like, it's your people that you've known your whole life. And I love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Those are, some of the best moments. And for me, the same. You know, we would do all of our stuff on Christmas Eve, and of course we would have, presents on Christmas morning and stuff, and then we would go to my my uncle's house. And all of us would be there because my grandmother, my mom's mom, lived with us for all of these years. And so we would all go over there, and she would sit basically, I mean, it was a lazy boy, but it was like her throne. and she would be chilling there with all of us grandkids, right? And she would be handing out the presents from her. And we would all be around there opening them up and just like destroying, sugar cookies and just getting thick from all the food that we were eating. But that was probably the most fun, was just seeing my grandma just get a kick out of all of us and everything that was going on. But then we would give out, I remember my mom and my Aunt Mary, they would write down the 12 days of Christmas, and they would put them in a hat, and the adults were pulling, and then they would sit in a circle, and they would start going through them. And what was hilarious is that some of my uncles, they would be, tossing a few back and stuff. So then when they would get to their part, they're like, wait, what am I supposed to be saying? They're like, it's on the piece of paper. Read the piece of paper. And they're like, 5 golden rings. But it was the most hilarious thing, because like us kids, like we went through it like it was nothing. And we would kind of battle a little bit, and us kids, we always did it well. But having the adults do it, that was probably one of the most funny things, was that. But yeah, all of those times with family, so good. But there was one year, and I was telling you about the both of you that I was going to tell the story. There was one year that some craziness happened. And this year, my dad had gone to Texas. He and his siblings from Michigan, they all went to Texas because their mom, my grandmother, she was very, very ill, and they were not sure if she was going to make it. Now she did. I will say right away, she did. She ended up being fine and stuff. But they were all over there, and he was gone for about a month or two. And it was around Christmas time. So my dad wasn't there. So my mom and my grandmother, like they were at the helm of the Martinez Christmas. And we were at my Aunt Mary's house because that year we were going to do our version of like the nativity play. And like we were going through this, and like my mom and my aunt were actually like sewing machines out, like making the costumes and everything, dude. Like they were going all out. And one night we're going back home. Now my aunt lived about 20 minutes or so away from where we were at, but we're going home. And we get there. So it's my mom, my grandmother, my younger brother, younger twin sisters, and I. And I'm walking ahead of everyone. It is super cold outside and snowing, but I'm walking ahead of everyone because I'm holding my mom's big ass Singer sewing machine. And so I'm trying to get in. So the front of the house, there's 3 steps. Open the door, there's a little porch area, and then you go inside to the actual house. Now we're cramming in there, and I go to open the door. And I don't know why I was just trying to open it, because we always locked our doors. And when I went to open the door, it opened. Now here's the other thing. On the inside, we had sleigh bells. So anytime the door opened, we knew somebody was there or somebody was leaving. So I go to open the door opens, and the bells start going off. The sleigh bells. And I look down, and I look back at my mom, and I said, "Did you leave the doors unlocked?" And she goes, "No, I didn't." And I looked down, and you could see where a chunk of the door had been kicked open, but they had shut it. And I looked down and saw that, and we started hauling ass running. I don't know how my mom and my grandmother got out, because my grandmother, she walked at her own pace. And I don't know if my mom picked her up and was like carrying her like this, but they were gone. Like all I saw was smoke. And it was me with the, trying to get out of there with the sewing machine. Like,
did you run with the sewing machine?
Dude, I did. Yeah, I'm running with the sewing machine. I'm like, wait for me.
Oh my gosh.
We go back. We get into the car, and my mom hauls ass, and we take off. Here's the thing. There's no cell phones during this time. So we go to the nearest gas station and call 911 on the payphone. Payphone.
Bro.
So it was going to take a little bit for them to get there. So we end up going to my aunt's house, and we let her know what happened. She's like, "Are you guys okay?" We're like, "Yeah, we're okay. We're all right. We're scared to hell, but we're all right." And so behind our house was another house. Okay. It was another house that was there. It used to be a barn, but it was turned into a house, a 2-story house. And we rented it out to one of my other aunts, my mom's other sister. And so we end up going to my Aunt Mary's. We're there for a little bit. My mom calls the police from there again, just to get kind of an update. They're like, they're headed there now. So we're like, okay, so we'll meet you over there. We get over there, but my mom drops us off with my aunt who's living behind us, while my mom is walking through the house with the officers. So she finally comes and gets us, and she's like, you guys are good to come back to the house. And I remember Granny and the 4 of us kids were walking up the back deck, holding on to her for dear life. And she's like, "You're going to make me fall." Because the steps are icy and everything as well. So we end up going inside. We had tons of electronics and stuff, and they're like video games, like all kinds of stuff. None of that was stolen. What it appeared to be was that the majority of the stuff that was stolen was just like clothes. So we're like, oh,
wow.
I wonder what that's all about. Okay. So then I remember asking my mom, I said, "Are we actually staying here tonight?" And she goes, "No." Dude, we stayed with my Aunt Mary for like a week. until like all the locks were changed. Like we put deadbolts on the doors and all of that. So we end up going the first night we go back home. No one wanted to sleep in their rooms. We all slept in my grandmother's room because we were scared, man. We all slept in my grandmother's room. So as I mentioned, you know, there was that porch area. You walk in the main door to the house, and the living room's right there. So the living room is there, and then the first room on the left was my grandmother's room, and then right on the other side, it was another room, bathroom. Right across from my grandmother's room, and kind of diagonal, was this. It was a sliding door, and we had another deck on the side there. So everything is locked up, right?
Okay.
We go to sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night because I'm hearing some stuff, and I wake up. I'm like, "Where's my mom?" And I hear my mom talking to somebody. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" And I remember opening the door just a little bit, and she's standing there with a deputy. And I was like, "What happened?" So I'm waiting, and the deputy ends up leaving, and I remember seeing my mom. She's just standing there like this, just going. And I walk out, and I said, "Mom, what happened?" So this is what happened. In the middle of the night, again, we're all in that room.
Okay.
She's startled awake, and she hears someone walking on that side deck. And she goes over there to the deck, or to the sliding door rather, and she can see the person, and they're starting to pull on the sliding door. And I got goosebumps.
Dude.
We had this huge stick that was right there, so there was no way anybody was going to be able to pull it and or open it or anything because it was completely blocked. And my mom says that she remembers yelling at the person saying, "I just called the police. You need to leave. Just leave. Just leave." And the person eventually left. And then the officers got there and stuff. And she's like, "I can't believe that happened." I was like, yeah. Like,
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, dude. It was the craziest thing. And like the next morning, I think my mom told my grandmother the next morning, but we didn't tell anybody else. Like the younger siblings, they didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And I probably would have never known either had I not awakened when I did. And she just told me. And so that was a pretty interesting Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because that was a couple weeks leading up to Christmas, and nothing else ever happened during that time. But a few months later,
there's always a but with Ricardo.
Yes, a few months later, I'm pretty sure this was around the same time. A few months later, there was something that happened that I cannot explain. We saw something outside. So we were watching a movie, and I just happened to look outside because it was supposed to be snowing again. And pretty far behind our house and this other property that was back there, there were these big old dunes. And we would go back there and we would actually sled down them. So I was, we're all hoping like, I hope it snows. So I remember looking outside, and there were like lights way back there. I was like, what the heck? Like, what's with those lights? And I showed my mom, and she goes, what is that? I said, I don't know, man. I didn't say man, but I was like, I don't know, Mom. I was like, I don't know what it is, because they were like red and green lights. And then so we yelled out, because my aunt had walked out too, and we said, what's that back there? And she goes, it's just a house. It's just Christmas lights and stuff. There's no house back there. There's no houses at all. And we were like, huh, I don't know what it is, because they were kind of moving like this and around. And they were like, maybe we're just seeing things, or maybe somebody's back there, because there would be cars that would go back there every so often. So we figured it's probably just cars back there. But, what? Who's that? Who's Paul? I don't know who Paul Peters is. a very awesome art teacher, actually.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm
So-
talking about. Award-winning.
Here's the thing. If any of you have ever watched the most recent season of Unsolved Mysteries, the first episode of that new season that's on Netflix, they talk about UFO sightings that happened in West Michigan and some other spots. They even have some of the audio that is played
Dude.
from people who called in. And I have always wondered if that is what it was.
Dude, you know?
Do you think aliens were breaking into your house?
Oh,
They
dude.
stole your clothes to look like humans? New theory.
New theory for sure.
Dude.
Maybe, dude. I don't know.
Dude,
I have no idea.
you know, Sue.
If I end up getting a visit or something today,
I know.
I hopefully not.
Ricardo just goes off the map tonight.
I know. Please no.
Oh my
Like, I'll bring Dare to Be Great back. Please don't.
That's
Yeah. So I don't know what it was. Like we don't know. We don't ever know. Hey, my mom.
Hey, Mom.
It's my mom. Hello, mama. Juliet met my mom, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
hmm And your sisters.
Wait a minute. Sam, you were in Orlando, weren't you?
I was, but how did I not? I didn't get to. Did I not get to meet?
No,
them?
I think
No,
you
I
were,
think
you were doing booth duty or
did.
something during his presentation.
You know you did.
I met them on. Yeah, I did. I
Oh.
wasn't in your session, but I did
You
meet
walked
them
by.
like quickly on the way. Yes.
Yes,
yeah, I
you walked
did.
by. I was gonna say,
did.
no, I'm pretty sure you did. Yes.
I did. I did.
Yeah. So, Mom, did you hear what we were talking about just now? Do you remember those lights that we saw? Because I will always wonder. But when I ended up seeing that stuff out of the county's called Ottawa. Ottawa County is just north of Allegan County, where I was working in dispatch. But they have audio of people calling in to dispatch, and they're like, "Yeah, we have people that are trying to look for it," and you know, this. My mom, she's like, "Yes, I do remember that." So we were watching that episode, and again, I will always wonder if that is what we saw, was what everybody else was seeing. Because if you look it up, you'll find it all over the place. You can even find the audio. I have the audio tapes. I put them in an episode years ago, but that was a weird holiday.
Yeah. It sounds like it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
what craziness. All right, so we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, both of you, for being here with me this evening, and I had a lot of fun with all of you.
I love it.
Yes.
did. I love
This
it.
was-
Even with you wearing that hat, bro.
I
That
know.
hat for real, bro. That's neat, man.
Oh my God, yes. Also, make sure everyone that if you haven't done so already, check out Dare to Be Great 6. It is out there already. It's crowdcast.io/c/DTBG6, and I will be putting up the final session with Juliet and Samantha, an excellent one that you all need to make sure to check out. And it'll be there tomorrow morning. I don't know how early in the morning, but it'll be there. It'll be there tomorrow morning. And it'll be there for all of you to check out. And I'm just so proud of the both of you. Awesomeness. Keep killing it. Keep doing the amazing work that you're doing. And for
Proud of
everybody
you,
out
dude.
there as well.
Proud of you, man.
What's that?
We're proud of you, dude. We're proud of you, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It has been an amazing experience. And to everyone out there, I hope your numbers have gone up from where they were before. I am way above a 10 now. And Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Merry
This-
Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. And This live broadcast sponsored by InDigital, Leader Next Gen Core Services. Shout out to subscribers, and to follow and find everything, just simply go to links, that's with 2 I's, links.co/WTT podcast. You'll find it all there. Have a good night, everyone. We will see you all. Oh, I completely covered my mouth now. We will see you all in the next one. Later.